What's going on, MSFers? Duelim here, back here with another video, and today we're going to be talking about Overpowered and the fallout from it and how much it has affected the game, whether you're a free-to-play player or even a spender. We're also going to be talking about Sword Satellite and Floor 60, and then we're going to be talking about Professor X red stars and how we're going to be getting them because there is a data mine. But first, I wanted to talk about something I've seen people asking about a bunch, and that's who I am taking up to gear tier 20 for the Professor X saga. And my answer is very, very simple. It's no one. I'm not doing anything. The only character I plan on taking up to gear 20 is Odin right now. That's the only one. I don't care about anything else. I don't care about Scopely's recommendations on which characters are going to do well in which nodes. I don't care. I am going to wait for the big spenders to get through it first, give us their feedback, and then I'll go from there. Because maybe Vigilante absolutely sucks in those nodes, and it's better to bring Blade and Oath and only the 3 new Vigilante instead of bringing the 2 reworks. That could be a possibility, but they did just get buffed. If you haven't seen that, there's a blog that they got buffed, so that's a thing, making them a little bit better in war offense. So I am in the boat of wait and see, and I think you should be too. I don't think there is any reason at all to push or focus or do anything crazy unless you're a big spender. Then hey, do it and let us know how it goes. I'd love to hear your thoughts and hear what teams worked well. The biggest question mark is going to be Vigilante though, for sure. So let's get into Professor X Red Stars data mine. So Professor X is here. This is also courtesy of Boylon. Amazing guy. Love him. He's awesome. Professor X is here. Upgrade your squads to gear tier 20. Now, Commander Professor X is here. Collect X helms by completing his saga to progress in the limited time event. Race to X event to earn his red stars. So this is going to be just like the Odin red stars, and I'm assuming this is going to be time sensitive to give people some FOMO to unlock him faster. So I like I said, you got to get there faster to make sure you get his red stars. If not, you're probably going to be stuck at a 4 red, 5 red, 6 red, whatever it is, for quite a while. So might be a good idea to push a little bit harder than you might have thought originally to make sure you get some red stars. Because as of right now, we don't even have Odin red stars, and I don't know how long that's going to last, but it's definitely impactful, and it's been causing a ripple effect in every single game mode. And I'm assuming it's going to be the same thing in with Professor X. So it's going to be interesting to see. We've got no information in the Envoy server on when Odin is coming to the Red Star Elite Store. We've also gotten no information on Captain Britain or Old Man Logan. I've asked, I think, 3 times in the last 4 weeks, and Updog's asked, Bendable Straws has asked, a lot of people have asked, so we've gotten no information on that. All right, and now next up, let's go to Reddit. And normally I'm not a fan of Reddit because Reddit's just full of whiny children most of the time, but sometimes they have some good information. So first up, Sword Satellite, Floor 60, rinse and repeat. If you guys have anything, somebody put this up 33 minutes ago, have not gotten a comment or response yet. What teams are everyone using to rinse and repeat Sword Floor 60? I'm assuming there's a good amount of them because we have Null now, stopping the Mephisto empowered on that node. We have Kahori probably able to wipe the floor pretty quickly. We have a lot of good tools that are going to be able to take out that floor. I'd also be curious to know, so let me know down in the comments section what you guys are feeling on that. And next up, starting with Overpowered. Please get rid of Overpowered. This is a change no one was clamoring for except Krakens. Why must you insist on breaking your game to cater to a small percent of players? And I think this is the school of thought whenever anything is done to benefit Krakens or benefit big spenders only, is the blame just gets shifted to them and everybody's like, haha, your fault, why is it you? You're the problem. So, and I don't think that's the case. So we'll get into a little bit because there's some interesting Reddit posts from bigger spenders and their feedback on Overpowered. If you want to throw them a bone, keep OP for Arena, but please take it out of War and Cosmic Crucible. You have made 2 modes that were popular, now completely unenjoyable to play. The problem is, if they only kept it for Arena, Overpowered wouldn't mean absolutely anything in probably a month of a new progression system coming out, because people are mostly going to upgrade their Arena characters first, or those are the characters that are used everywhere anyway, so then it would just be an even playing field and it'd be no bonus for anybody. It's always 1 step forward and 2 steps back for Scopely. You once again started to build a goodwill and are showing signs of improvement in your game, then implement something that wrecks the game. Please either get rid of OP or limit it to a game mode. I can't believe you plan on 2 additional bonuses down the line. The first step is already unbalanced and unfair. Now, regarding the 2 additional bonuses, I genuinely feel like if you are more than 2 or 3 overpowered tiers down, then you are really punching outside of your weight class, right? And that's rare that happens, because how often are you a full gear tier down and ISO 8 down, or a full level cap increase down and gear tier? So normally the higher end players that don't spend, like myself, are at the next progression system. Like, I'm already at 105 and I'm waiting for gear tier 20, right? And when gear tier 20 is out, I'll probably be, or when purple ISO comes out, I'll probably be pretty deep into gear tier 20 already. So it's very rare that the top part of my roster is more than 1 overpower level, but I do understand the sentiment, because you're gonna have to build wide instead of just tall now for a lot of those plug and play characters that are slowly gonna slip out of the meta. Now, we do have something from a top 200 TCP player, and he agrees, or she, don't know, that Overpowered should go. I don't know why this system exists. I benefit significantly from it, and despite that, it's easy to see how pointless and toxic it is in its current state. I never felt like some added advantage was necessary beyond levels, gear, ISO, etc. Right now, the damage buff is out of control. People will probably leave over this, and it will be warranted if you don't act quickly to amend it. If you want to preserve some element of the system to further incentivize character development, like it's not already, let me suggest this. Let's just increase effective focus and maybe resistance, which I actually like this idea, because focus and resistance is something that affects RNG a lot, because it kind of depends if you're stripping negative effects or not. And I think this would mitigate RNG in fights and cause for people to complain less, which is what this guy's talking about. This will bring a little consistency to fights, but mostly just serve to cut down unlucky ones. So this was big when we were using like Big Time Spider-Man to take off the taunt and the defense up and stuff like that off of Black Knight. And only massive Big Time Spider-Mans were able to do it. Like, you had to put like red stars all the way up to almost diamonds on him to make it work. So I think this is actually a really good idea, and maybe lower the damage to like 25% at most, maybe 30 if you really want to make it rough, but 50% is way too much. That makes a safe punch up slightly less reliable because of the resistance being buffed, which I agree, but it should not be so significant as to effectively be immunity, just enough to maybe give the attacker pause whether they have more reliable option. Yeah, and I would like that, because that adds another layer of complexity to the game, which it needs. So I think Overpowered is a good thing in essence. I think the numbers are just way out of whack. I do like the change, because the meta is going to change a lot because of this, but I don't want the meta to just be, hey, I lost because of Overpowered. That's not fun, and that's not a game. That's just a, hey, it's a wallet check, and I don't like that part of it at all. But I do think this game needs something that differentiates rosters. But unfortunately, this is not the way to go about it. There needs to be something like relics, artifacts, stuff like that's in Raid Shadow Legends, that you can increase the speed on characters, the damage, focus, resistance, crit chance, all of these things that needs to go way more in depth than ISO 8. And ISO 8 was a great system, but unfortunately it is antiquated now. And we need another layer of customizability, because all of our rosters look the exact same. And here's another post from a big spender. Now, I don't know how big the big spender is, but this is quote unquote a big spender. I honestly think this may be the worst thing they've ever done to this game so far. Definitely the most unnecessary. I was fine with my advantage of having characters maxed way before others. I think this greatly hurts theory crafting and the fun of using strategy to beat teams in War and Crucible. The stat difference in OP rankings just makes it not fun, which I agree. I don't think it's fun. I don't think it's inventive. I don't think it's really unique or cool or anything you look at. You just go, cool, I'm going to take 50% extra damage. I guess screw me, right? Okay, I have a higher, lower OP on a couple characters. It's a quick win/lose. Yes, I was able to get back to #1 in arena, but feels the arena battles are going much faster. Odin just wipes the floor, or we're back to Odin 1v1 showdowns, which I have experienced that as well. Curious to see how Crucible it feels in Crucible, my favorite game mode. Yeah, and that's going to be very interesting. I think there's going to be a lot of fallout from Crucible this weekend for sure. People are saying this is for spenders to get a bigger advantage on their investment, but I think there's a lot of other spenders who don't like this either. I don't know, can't speak for myself, speak for them, only myself. Just wanted to share my opinion as a spender and top 50 War and Masters Crucible player, so definitely super far endgame. Not a fan, feels extremely unnecessary. I also think this is going to lead to rifts in alliances. The divide is going to become greater. Not everyone I play with is a spender, but they have a great strategy and are still big accounts. But the new teams take more time to unlock for them, and they can't max a character the day of release unlock like me. They have to manage their resources. How do you expect free-to-play to keep up with the true endgame content where when their peers and opponents OP them, you don't? It's going to be rough on alliances and the player base, and that also affects me a good amount because a lot of my alliance is mixed. And what I mean by that is we have every spectrum of spending. So we have some free-to-play players with like myself. Like I don't spend unless somebody donates me something that's like, hey, buy this. And we have some medium spenders who maybe buy the character if it's going to help the alliance out. Maybe just buy the raid characters. Maybe just buy Crucible characters. And then we have some big spenders who see a character, unlock them. They're all the way at 6-star. They're all the way at 7-star. And that's fine. And I like having that mix because I get to see the perspective from big spenders all the way to low spenders and no spenders, which is really cool for me. And I love having that mix and that kind of the diversity in my alliance. And I think that could be lost because of this. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I like to play with who I like to play with. And I don't want it to just be, hey, I have to play with these people because their spending habits are the same. So a lot of fallout from Overpowered. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Let me know if you echo any of these statements. But until next time, this has been Duelim. Later, MSFers.